Well, if you're one of the people who watches the news, you probably know about what's going on involving the Department of War, Pete Hegseth, the commander of that particular section, and the Democratic Congress. It all involves boats, drug boats. They call them go-fast boats that are traveling from Venezuela to various parts of the Caribbean to drop off a whole bunch of drugs, and they're doing it pretty effectively and have been doing it for years and years. Well, now this administration decided we're going to stop that. And they're trying to say, okay, Venezuela is a bad country headed by a bad president who's basically a drug lord himself. So they're cutting off drugs coming into the United States, fentanyl in particular, which is killing not just thousands, but hundreds of thousands of people in this country every year. Drugs are a problem and have been forever and ever. But cutting off the supply, well, that's a different animal. And that's exactly what they've been doing. Now, you have to understand something. The Congress is out there to, well, make waves. But what are the laws that maritime operates under? You know, once you leave the 12-mile limit from some country, what are the international laws that control, well, what a boat does, what you can do involving a boat? So what do you say we chat about those laws and see if the Democrats and the parties are right or wrong in what's going on? All right, first off, the United Nations has a law. It's called the United Nations Convention of the Laws of the Sea. It's a pretty lengthy document, but it's signed by everybody in the UN. And it says, here's what we're going to do involving the high seas, anything outside the 12-mile limit. Everybody has signed on to this. In particular, there's articles number 92, 94, and 110. And I'm going to talk about those particular articles because here's what it says. Every boat that you see out there has what they call a flag. And you look at the end of the boat, you're going to see a flag. And, well, if you get on a cruise boat, and here's a Disney boat, just for example, here's a Disney boat that's flagged in another country, not the United States of America. You got on most cruise lines, you look at the flag on the back of the boat, it's not a U.S. flag. It's a flag of a different country. And why do they have those flags of convenience, they're called? Because that particular boat, once it's on the high seas, operates under the rules, regulations of the country where it's registered. A lot of boats are registered in Panama, hence you see the Panama flags, because the restrictions on the boats are, well, a lot less expensive to cruise companies. They can save a lot of money. Now, here in the United States, you don't see many boats, United States flag. It goes back to Prohibition, when they outlawed liquor on boats. So the boats said, okay, we'll register in Panama or wherever country they did, so they can have liquor on their boats. That's a long time ago, but tradition still stands today. Well, anyway, let's talk about the articles from the UNCLOS. One says that any boat on the high seas that is not displaying the flag of the nation that they are aligned with, attracted to, whatever, if they are not flagged, they are considered to be pirates. Yeah, they're not flagged, under a flag, they're considered to be pirates. And any nation can stop, board, search, can do about anything, disable any craft on the ocean that doesn't follow the orders of that particular nation that's doing this. Now, one of the things they've been talking about is Pete Hegseth. He is guilty of war crimes. You cannot be guilty of a war crime if you do not have a war. Are we at war with Venezuela? Has the Congress declared a war against Venezuela? No. Hence, the term war crimes is clickbait. It is just nothing to get people to go, oh my God, he's a criminal. This is a game, folks. This is a political game being played. And frankly, there are laws the United States has that have to do with being on the high seas. And guess who signed them back when they were originated and put on the desk of the president? The Democrats signed them because they said it made good sense, especially involving drugs. Years ago, Chucky Schumer signed the big drug bill. Yep, he signed this, said, yep, got to keep drugs out of America. And the Democrats signed it, and Chuck Schumer did. So the laws exist in the high seas. And something else, according to the UNLOS, you can utilize lethal force. Now, Let's say you run into a boat that you says, "Hey, stop, halt, we want to search you," whatever, and the boat takes off. This is what these go-fast boats do. They've got motors on them, cost $10,000 per motor. Very expensive motors. Make the boat go 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. And they're not trying to go for 1,200 miles between Venezuela and Florida. It doesn't work that way, folks. You don't understand how the shipment concept works. Those boats are only going maybe 50, 60 miles to get to another island, another cay, or another bigger ship, a real ship, waiting for the cargo to arrive so they can take it off of the go-fast boats, put it on a cargo ship, and take it into, well, port, where nobody knows what they have. That's why those bundles are all wrapped up so neatly. That's what this is all about. The go-fast people, they're not going 1,200 miles. They're going less than 100 miles, but they got to get there quickly so nobody can touch them. And that's why they're going 60, 70 miles an hour, and they don't stop when you hail them. So what do? You can shoot at them. Sometimes the military tries to shoot the motors out of these vehicles or these crafts, so they got to slow down so they can board them. But understand this. When they board a craft, the people who were out there, they were nothing but former fishermen who found out they could make more money running drugs. And the concept is called deliver or die. And the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, whatever, had a reporter that went on with these guys and figured out what they were doing. They're just out there trying to earn money for their families because, well, can't make a whole lot of money fishing, boy, but you can make a whole lot of money running drugs. Well, when they get caught, they say, "What country are you from?" They say, "Venezuela." They have to take them back to that home country for prosecution in that home country. Well, if it's a country is a drug country, what do you think the powers that be are going to say when they arrive back in Venezuela? "Hey, dude, how are you? Welcome on back. How come you didn't do the delivery?" Could be good, could be bad. But legally, under the UN laws that were signed by everybody in the UN, including the United States of America, lethal force is 100% acceptable. What they're doing is shooting these boats out of the water is legitimate and acceptable under United Nations law. Don't let any politician tell you anything different. And when they start screaming war crimes, there is no war crime because there's no war. Tell us what war we're fighting. Just so you understand what's going on here, folks, that's the important part. There is law, it is legal, and if they're not running under a flag, they are a pirate. And as a pirate, they can be intercepted, searched, and scuttled because they're a pirate. And that's what the law says from the United Nations Convention called the United Nations Convention of Laws of the Sea. Plainest English, plain language right there. Take a look at it for yourself. It is illegal to take these boats down because they are not flagged. They are considered pirates. I hope that helps you understand exactly what's going on so you don't get bamboozled or literally conned by somebody or someone organization trying to tell you something that's not true, because it's all about politics and it's all about power and who has it and who wants it. Hopefully now you understand, because now you know.